think with the doctor. Yes, he's got it. Here he comes. Way rock the baby to sleep until morning. Ewing. Oh, wow. Oh. He's going to try to get one more shot off the line. Push the buzzer. How about that? Steps over Teron Lowe. He thought about three. He'll put up a three.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, childrens of all ages, Boom Broadcasting presents Threes from Deep. I'm your host, Jason N.Y. Calenzo. Welcome to the shows. I am blessed to be joined here today with my man, Mr. Shannon Smitty Smith. Mr. Smith, how are you today?
I'm great, man. I'm great. Now, when you asked me to be on the show, you made me an offer I couldn't refuse.
That's how we do it here. But don't say nothing that'll get you in trouble. So make sure you plead the fifth. Make sure you plead the fifth. So, guys, welcome to the show here. Lots to unpack, man. What a crazy, crazy first week of the NBA. I came in here first two nights of NBA basketball. I was super excited. And then we had a bombshell. So, guys, yes, the start of the NBA season started off great. Tuesday night, October 21st, double OT, crazy victory from the champs, Oklahoma City, coming out and beating those KD Rockets. And then the late game, we had Steph Curry raining threes on Luka's Lakers. Luka drops 40, but in a loss. And then moving into Wednesday, first main slate of games, we saw my Knicks beat the Cavs, fighting for that first in the East. VJ Edgcome's 34-point rookie debut for the 76ers. I don't think anybody saw that coming. Fantastic performance against those Celtics. The Jazz clipped the Clippers, supposedly the worst team in the NBA, come out, beat those Clippers. And then the alien that is Victor Wembanyama drops 40 against the Cooper Flag Mavs. So we had some great performances on Wednesday. And then Thursday was rocked by the bombshell where my man Chauncey Billups, coach of the Portland Trailblazers, was arrested, as well as Terry Rozier and Damon Jones, former coach, former player, for illicit gambling activities. The FBI and their gambling arrests, Project Operation Nothing But Bet and Operation Royal Flush. Years-long investigation where Terry Rozier was kind of cleared by the NBA and then gets nipped by the FBI. Needless to say, shout out to La Costa Nostra. During the FBI's press conference there, my man Kash Patel lets us all know that the mafia is alive and well, that this whole thing going on has the Bonino and family, the Gambino family, and the Genovese family all involved. Of course, now we're putting ourselves in a little danger here talking about it, but it's okay. We'll be all right. But shout out, La Costa Nostra, alive and well. But sports betting and major professional sports have now been entangled in this deeply. Smitty, when this first dropped, what were your initial thoughts?
I was very surprised, man. I was like, whoa. When they started saying arrest, like handcuffs, things of that nature, I was like, uh-oh, this ain't good. Not at all. And then when everything started unraveling. That was one thing. Like in the morning, you had one, and then later on, you had two, and then later on, it was three. And then you're talking about some of the stuff that was being done. Damon Jones leaking out, injury precautions on LeBron on top of that, too.
Mm,
Then with Chauncey Billups, it was separate from that because Rozier was talking about faking injury and all
right.
this stuff sitting out.
Prop bet stuff. Yeah,
Right.
yeah.
Yeah, your FanDuel stuff, your DraftKings stuff. Like, will this guy score this certain amount of points, this, that, and the third? Then you talk about Chauncey Billups with the cards and all that. On some casino stuff right there, man. Like
Woo.
from the movie Casino,
Exactly.
and it was insane. Like reading all of it. Like when I finally got a chance to read it because I was working that day. When I got a chance to read it all, I was like, "Ooh, this ain't anything ordinary. This is some real live stuff that's been going on for like months and months and months." And you're just like, "Oh man!" And then of course, with the FBI getting involved and Rico
Mm.
being thrown in there, I said, "Oh,
Hmm.
this is much bigger than this."
Yeah, it was pretty crazy. First thing I thought of was Jonte Porter. Has already
Yep,
been banned
yep.
from the league. So like this is not a surprise. These small things have been happening, but it looks like the dots are getting connected.
Hmm.
And for this to be FBI, arrests and charges, this is not local. This is not state stuff. This is federal stuff. This is
Hmm.
a big deal. This is embarrassing for the league because, of course, now they're taking shots because they cleared Terry Rozier of any wrongdoing. But then all of a sudden, the FBI comes in. I mean, I know the FBI has deeper pockets and longer hands, and they have more control and more services available as far as investigating and wiretaps and all that other stuff. The NBA can't do that kind of stuff as an employer to an employee. You can only I'm going to say spy on them, but you can only spy on them so much. Whereas the FBI can get away with a little bit more. But this was insane, especially to have. And it's one thing to have former players, um, doing some weird stuff, but to have current players, current coach, Chauncey Billups, but Billups, man, come on, to be caught up in something like this, the illegal poker games, which to me is even more concerning because now you're in bed with some bad people. Um, you are also linked into this. You could be bringing in other people with you that had no idea that this was fixed poker games. So now all of a sudden, you've got some other names out there that are going to be dropping of people that were involved in these poker games that probably didn't know what was going on, but now their names are going to be brought into this or they're going to be investigated too. So this is going to be deep, and this is going to affect not just the NBA, but I think this is going to affect all professional sports.
Oh
And
yes.
my big question to start right off the gate is um, my first question, really right out the gate, is why did the FBI wait till opening week of the NBA season to drop this? They could have done it a week before. They could have done it 2 weeks before. I think they had enough in the holster to kind of do this. But why did they wait 2 days after the season starts to pull this trigger, man? It's just it boggles my mind why they did that.
To me, the more I think about it, it's a feather in the cap. Not for the NBA, of course not, but for these FBI folks. Promotions. And you know what I'm talking about too when we dig into the mafia. That's how mafia guys get promoted as well too. If you want to really think about it, this
Hmm.
this ain't an NBA thing. This is a mafia thing. This is an FBI thing. That's
Right.
basically what it is. This was one of those things that this was bigger than the NBA. This had nothing to do with the season, nothing at all. It was we need to talk about this because once again, and also too, the mafia wants everyone to look at it and say, "Hey, guess what? We're here.
Mm,
How you doing?" So
mm,
that's what they were wanting to say is we're still around, which of course they're doing the smart thing by being underground. Of course, they don't want to be out there like that either. But when something big like this happens, of course. And I thought it was really crazy that Terry Rozier's attorney was mad because they made him do the perp walk. I mean, what did you expect?
Yeah,
Like,
man.
dude, what did you think was gonna happen, dude?
Yeah.
You should have done that. Hello, welcome to the real world. When you do a crime, yeah, they all should see you get arrested and walked
Right.
away and stuff. Of course they should, because you did a crime, dude. What do you think?
And that's where I think that why the FBI waited till now to do this, to me, is a power move. You know, nobody's bigger than the federal government. This is, you may be an NBA player, you may be an NBA coach, you may make millions of dollars a year, but this is a message. We're going to shoot a message across every major sports right now that nobody is above the law. And I really believe that this was why the FBI released this and did what they did in the timing, because they wanted people to know, especially across all these major sports, that we don't care who you are. We don't care that you're on TV. This is the FBI. This is the government. And if you do something wrong, we're going to make sure we make an example out of you. So I think this was the FBI making an example in front of major sports, not just the NBA, even though that, you know, this is the NBA's in front of this. But I think this is a message to all major sports that if you get in deep like this, we're going to make sure we make an example out of you. So I can see why the FBI did it. It's crazy that they did it this way. It wasn't quiet. It was loud.
Yep.
And it was very loud. And I think it's only going to get louder, which is even crazier. Which gets into my other question here. We've been in this slippery slope before. Ever since they started legalizing gambling across state lines, the gambling apps, ESPN bet. I mean, you can go on and on and on. The betting apps are crazy. They are prevalent during every basketball, football, hockey, golf, whatever game you're watching. You are seeing some kind of advertisement plug for a gambling app. This is a dangerous cliff right now. And with this dropping, do you see the marriage between pro sports and these gambling sites headed to the end? Do you think this could have a divorce between legalized betting and professional sports?
With the legalized betting, maybe, but gambling as a whole on sports, absolutely not. It is too lucrative. It's too much money involved. Even with it being legal, the fact that there is a lot of money tied to the illegal side as much as it is the legal side, probably more on the illegal side than anything, it's still going to continue. My favorite movie, my second favorite movie of all time, The Godfather Part 2, when Hyman Ross says, I love baseball ever since Arnold Rothstein fixed the World Series in 1919. Really? 1919, the Black Sox scandal. I had to look that up as well, too, after I watched that movie for the first time. I had to look up that scandal, and that was peeling an onion. Man, it was insane. Like, you're talking about a whole series of baseball being basically like it never, like it was, this is who's going to win and this is what we're going to do. And if we don't, then we're going to have a problem. And it's still going to be there. The legalized side, I don't know how they're going to regulate this, but they can't walk away from it because it's too much money. When they had a bet during the Super Bowl with what color Gatorade the winning coach was going to get thrown on him, this is where I knew this was all out of hand. This is when I knew. I was like, really? We're betting on this? So this tells you right here, the money is there and the possibility is there. And these athletes, shout out to Michael Franzese on this one. I watched his video on this right here. Athletes are easy marks for the gambling guys. They're easy because gambling is an extent of their competitiveness. You hear Michael Jordan talk about it. He doesn't have a gambling problem. He has a competition problem, and that's what's going on with him. But Mike and these other guys, they're different people because Mike didn't get consumed like these guys did. He has a revenue stream that is as long as the track meet. He's not going to lose anything with what he's got entangled. Some of these other guys don't, and they get in too deep, and then they have to go see a bookie, and then the bookie is basically bought by the mob, and they're going to let them run up that tab. They're going to let them run it up, and then after that, they're going to be like, "Hey, okay, cool. Here's what you're going to do. You're going to put the ball on the ground, or you're going to throw a pick. You're going to drop that ball a few times, and then we're going to handle the rest." It's a slippery slope, man. It's crazy. But as far as it being taken away like that, not without it kicking and screaming because it's too much money.
And that's what worries me is how bad is it going to get before these professional sports do something with the advertising. It's one thing. Look, gambling's never going to go away.
No.
Like since day one, they was in the cave 2,000, 3,000 years ago making bets. I bet you I could hit that lion from here. So,
Yep.
I mean, they've been betting forever. So I don't want to hear it. But yes, you mentioned the 1919 Black Sox. I think that's ground zero. That's where betting in sport, because betting was always there, especially boxing. Boxing was the number one sport in America, back in the aughts. And then this, the Black Sox scandal shook everything. Shoeless Joe Jackson, who still should be in the Hall of Fame, but it's a whole nother story. But gambling has always been there in sport. But the marriage between these gambling sites that make it so easy to place a bet. This is not going to a bookie. This is not going down the street to the OTB. This is not going to a casino. This is you sitting in a living room. This is you sitting in your locker room using a burner phone or your friend's account, placing bets, parlays. The hot thing right now is hitting the parlay. So, I mean, I think this is a rude awakening. I know we've seen already a lot ever since this hit. On Thursday, every professional sport has already re-released memos and talked to players about, hey, illegal betting, guys, stay away from it. Here's, be aware. But betting and gambling, is an addiction.
Yep.
There's a lot of guys out there. Sports, we see these guys make millions of dollars, but everybody gets a cut. So you may make $9 million a year, but by the time the government gets a cut, by the time your agent gets a cut, by the time all your people get a cut, how much are you really making? So it's easy for these guys behind the scenes, gamblers, to throw a lot of money in your face. Like, man, okay, I'm only going to make a few $1 million this year. I can probably make $1 million under the table, cash money it can be enticing to a lot of these players, especially a Terry Rozier. You look at somebody that's making $50 million a year, probably not, but you look at these lower end guys, the temptation is there, and that's what scares me. And I think that this is going to come to a crossroads. I can see in the next few years, if more of these things hit, if more of these kind of illegal allegations and illegal things start happening across all of sports, I think that may be ending an ugly divorce between betting and the professional sports and being advertising it. And it's not going to go away. It'll never go away. But the advertising of I know it's easy money, professional sports, but at what cost? But again, this is not the first time. We talked about 1919 Black Sox scandal. I think that kind of set in stone that gambling and professional sports will not mix. Those guys all banned. It was, a huge story at the time, and it's still prevalent 100+ years today, which is crazy. 1963, you had Paul Hornung and Alex Karras. My man George Papadopoulos were suspended a year for gambling. Not that long ago, 2022, we had Calvin Ridley. 2023, we had Jameson Williams, CJ Moore. So, these kind of things still pop up every now and then where these guys get caught doing things in gambling they shouldn't. You talk about other leagues. Pete Rose, again, in baseball, another popular one about him, he being a manager betting on baseball. It's not that he had to, it's just he wanted to. Yes, you talked about Michael Jordan. Michael Jordan, if that would have happened today with social media and everything going on, how big of a story with Michael Jordan gambling would that have been? That could have tarnished everything. But yet, with his career, a lot of that is swept under the rug because it's Michael Jordan. So um, this is huge. And last question here is this the end, or will more come out in the wash with this story?
Oh, there's got to be more. I mean, after Pandora's box has been opened, there were more involved because you know how it goes. If you got those three guys there, who else are you going to get? And I guarantee you that the FBI and all of these investigative folks are going to be like, okay, who do you know? And you can sit here all day long and try to post all the bill and throw the money at them and say, hey, look, this is the bill. No, we want to know who you have. We want to know who is involved because you know how it is. These criminal types and these NBA players, they don't know the street like that. That's why they're so easy, and that's the reason why they're going after this because everybody's looking at Terry Rozier and Chauncey Billups like, why did you do this? Well, they had no choice. I mean, it's one of those kind of things. Is either we do this or, and if you don't collect, if you don't get it, we don't care how you get it. If you got a dead relative, rob a bank, we don't care. We want to get paid. And if you don't, then you know what's going to happen to you.
Right.
So there's going to be more, and there are more guys out there that have done this. And that's what kills me the most about it is that they allowed themselves to get in too deep. They didn't know. Once again, they had no idea this. It's an ugly game once you get involved in this. And if you do a crime, do it alone. Because all the people that are going to be pulled in there, as well too, people who weren't involved, fish, there were fish in there as well too,
Right.
luring other bad gamblers and that's how the mob makes their money off this gambling right here. They feed off of people's weaknesses, and here we are.
Yeah, and I think more names are going to come out too. You're already seeing some other names floating around there, some other players, especially the prop bet thing. Look, that's been going on forever. You see a lot of it in college. I don't think you're going to see as much anymore because of nil money now. But back in the day, I mean, how many kids and how many schools got in trouble for either missing a shot or taking themselves out or whatever. So this happened a lot in college. It didn't happen as much in pro, but now it's happening more. But the names that are going to start coming out. The prop bet thing was weird, but the illegal poker games, to me, where you're setting people up, when you make that much money, it's a whole different world. You hang around with different types of people. Money is not. You don't see money the same way the 9-to-5 working man sees money. So you think that this is just rich people coming in and losing some money and everybody's going to make something and they just write it off or ain't no thing anyways. But this is big. And I think that there's going to be more names. And unfortunately, who knows if these names that are going to be dropped knew what was going on. They were just pulled in by other people and they thought it was legitimate. And hey, come play poker with an NBA player. Hey, come play poker with an NFL superstar, an NBA superstar, an MLB super. I mean, so oh man, all I got to do is come show up and play some poker. Cool, man. And the next the game is rigged. You had no idea, but you got to make smart decisions. And yeah, man, I'm really, really disappointed in Chauncey Billups and Terry Rozier, Damon Jones for putting. It's one thing to screw up your life. Look, I'm not innocent. I made a lot of mistakes throughout my life.
Same.
That I've paid for, and I hope to not make any more moving forward. But everybody's human.
Right.
But with this kind of thing, with the people involved, you're putting your family at risk. You're putting your career at risk.
Mm-hmm.
Chauncey Billups, a head coach, he won't coach in the NBA again.
Nope. Nope.
Terry Rozier will not play in the NBA again.
Nope.
And you will now always be linked to this.
Yep.
And that is disheartening.
And everything
And again,
Chauncey done. I mean, for real. Like, look, being on that 2004 Detroit Pistons squad. I mean, that squad that shouldn't have won a championship, and that
right.
alone puts you in the Hall of Fame. And I mean, you had such a great career, and then just to lose it. Just because of you wanting to make more money off of this, man, and that's a
but I
tough
don't even think it was. I don't even think it was about money, though. I don't think it was about money. To me, again, when you make that much money, this is about bravado. This is about being cool. This is like the smoking the cigarette, in front of your high school. This is the rich person's version of that. This is I'm cool. I have a name. I have some cachet. Right. Let me walk into a room where people are gonna ooh and ah me. Mm-hmm. So this is all this is about. This is about being arrogant and thinking you're above the law, thinking that you're something special. When, again, dude, when it's all said and done, we're all the same. We are all human beings. I don't care how much money you make. You bleed the same way, all of us do. It's just really sad that this phenomenal start to this season, which I was so excited about, and I still am. I'm not going to let this ruin the NBA season. I hope that this kind of does what it has to do and then I'm going to say goes away, because I don't think it'll go away, but I just hope that nobody else gets nipped in this, especially any big names, because it'll just be even more disheartening. Mm-hmm. So I'm not letting this ruin the NBA season. There's a lot of great NBA basketball that has been played, is being played, and that will be played. So do not let this spoil your season. A few bad apples is not going to ruin the bunch. But guys, do smart things. Grandma Lucci, God bless you, Yola. I love you. Grandma Lucci always said, if you do good, it comes out good. So, guys, all you professional sports, all you young kids out there that want to get into professional sports, make the right decisions. Because one wrong decision, whether you're paying attention or not, could ruin your career and ruin your life. So, man, just, whew, starting off crazy out the gate here, but we're going to transition. We got some breaking news out there, guys. If you've been living under a rock and you don't know, we have Mr. Luka legend. Luka Laker is out for a week. Has a sprained left finger sprain. He sprained his finger and a lower leg contusion. So he stubbed his finger and he's got a bruise on his leg. So that gets him out for a week. So back-to-back 40-point performances. Opening night, dropped 43 in a loss to the Warriors. Dropped 49 in an OT win against the Wolves. So, man, slim Laker. Slim Luka looking great out there to start off the year, going down already. So this Lakers team, without LeBron, has his sciatica, and now without Luka, can the Lakers survive this in this Western Conference, or is this going to put them in a place where it's going to be an uphill battle the rest of the season, Smitty?
It's good that it happened now, and it happened early. A week. What would that be like? What, 3 games?
I think it's 3 at least.
About 2-3 games, somewhere around there. We'll say 2-3. Okay, I'm okay with that. As a Lakers fan, as Lakers coaching the team as a whole, I'm okay with that because, I mean, Lord, Luka's played a lot of games hurt when he had that run to the finals, Luka was hurt and played through a lot worse, I feel like. But in this case here, the Lakers are doing the right thing by sitting him. Let him sit for this time being. You're without LeBron. Then, Luka was doing what he was doing. You don't want to lose Luka longer than that. Let him sit for the early part. Let him get his breather. He earned it. He earned his money. He earned what he earned because, he put up points, put up numbers.
Right.
So let him sit for a little bit, get him acclimated, get him his therapy, let him have some rest, and then he gets back to it. It's good that it happened early. But with him cooking like he was, I don't think it's going to disrupt his momentum. I don't think so. This is Luka we talking about here. It's not going to upset his momentum. He'll be fine.
Yeah, I'm not really worried about Luka. No, he's going to get his. But I think about the Lakers as a team. You talk about continuity. You don't have LeBron. Who knows when you're going to get him back? You may see him in about a month or so. If Luka's out a week, possibly they're just talking about evaluating him in a week. He may be out a little bit longer. So you've got Austin Reeves, and Rui Hachimura, and a band of others. DeAndre Ayton, who is so. So you talk about this team playing together, because even last year, they never really played together a lot. So you talk about a team that just doesn't have the time playing with each other as a cohesive unit in a really, really deep West. I think this comes back to bite them. This is going to be tough for the Lakers. They got a lot of expectations. The LeBron James murmurings and retirement. If these Lakers start losing a lot of games, start really struggling, I think it's going to really hurt them in the long run. So we'll see. Hopefully this is only a week, and hopefully the Lakers can at least right the ship before he gets back, before LeBron gets back. But we got to keep an eye on this. I think this may be something deeper. I think this may hurt the Lakers in the long run, because you can't go down in the West and then try to claw back up. It is very, very difficult, especially with some really good teams out there. So we'll see what happens. Curious about it, but man, losing Luka already after 2 40-point performances, bananas. But man, week 1, starting out the gate. Let's talk about Victor Wembanyama, the Parisian pillar. We got to go there first, because he has started this year on fire. Those Spurs 3-0, tied for first in the West already. But I know it's early. Relax. I know. But man, Victor Wembanyama, 40 points, 15 rebounds, 3 blocks. Victory against the Mavs. Friday against the Pelicans and the Ozempic Zion. 29 points, 11 rebounds, 9 blocks. Sunday, 31 points, 14 rebounds, 6 blocks. He's going to get the block double-double. He may end up getting some quadruple doubles here, too. Is Victor Wembanyama the front runner for MVP and Defensive Player of the Year?
Absolutely. Right now, absolutely.
Out the gate, yep.
Absolutely. I mean, you have to put him there. I mean, look at the numbers. Look at what he's doing. He's gotten the San Antonio Spurs the victory as well, too. And this squad, squad that the San Antonio Spurs are putting together, this squad can win, and Wemby is definitely going to be the catalyst for that, with his play, with his length, with his ability to bring the ball up court, with his range of shooting, his defensive prowess. Oh yeah, he's all that. I'm gonna tell you what though, it's just crazy watching him. He's got to be one of my favorite players right now. Like, just it's like 2 steps, like 1.5 steps, and he's already to the cup for the dunk already. It's like 2 good strides from 3-point to there, elbow with a key. It's like 1 step, he's there. And I'm just like, how do you guard that? And you got players asking, how do you guard this? And early. I mean, I don't see why not. I don't see why he wouldn't win both of them. I mean, dude could dominate the league, really, if he stays healthy and stays the course, he could dominate the league.
Knock on wood. Yeah, he is ridiculous. I hope he plays inside more. I love his footwork.
Me too.
For a guy as tall as he is, he's got some great footwork. He's got moves. He moves like a guard. It's pretty bananas. But there's only been 3 players in NBA history that have won an MVP and Defensive Player of the Year in the same year. That was 88 Jordan, 93-94 Hakeem the Dream, and 1920 Giannis Antetokounmpo. So it's only been done 3 times. I think he can do it too if he stays healthy. But man, that Spurs team, my sleeper for actually getting to the NBA Finals right now, if they all stay healthy. Dylan Harper playing well, that rookie. Love him. Castle. See, they may get another. They may have 3 Rookie of the Years in a row.
Oh, yeah.
With Wembanyama, Castle, now Harper, throw him in the mix. But De'Aaron Fox, they retired. Greg Popovich in the rafters too, which I love too. San Antonio, probably one of the greatest small market teams in professional sports, let alone just the NBA. So watch out. But Victor Wembanyama, the Parisian Pillar, guys, we are watching something special with him. He is going to be a phenomenon. And I hope he keeps it rolling. Knock on wood again. I hope he stays healthy. I hope that team stays healthy because
he worked with Hakeem this summer. He worked with Hakeem Olajuwon this summer.
Yep.
I mean, for real. Who would be the best center to work with or have train you this summer than Hakeem the Dream, Mr. Dream Shake himself? Come on now.
Yep. I mean, it's ridiculous. So yeah, he's on his way, and what a great week 1 for him already. Now, let's jump second question. The 0-2 Rockets. Rough start already. It's a double OT thriller in the first game. Then Friday, a loss to the Pistons, who I don't sleep on the Detroit Pistons. Detroit Rock City is back. Gave Knicks a little bit of a tussle in the playoffs last year. Cade Cunningham growing into his own, so watch out for those Pistons. Is there too much expectation in Houston right now? They plugged in KD, and all of a sudden they're like championship. Is there too much expectation? The expectation's too high in Houston right now.
Of course. I mean, you didn't expect for them to come out the gate being 0-2. You expected them to at least take one of those games. So to me, yeah, they did put a lot on it. And I think we all did. I think every one of us did, because not so much of the addition of KD, but more of what KD is walking into with this squad already, with the young with Sengun and those young guys. Unfortunately, Fred VanVleet's not playing for the season. That sucks. Him being a loss, and that is a tough loss because I mean he was one of your guards, your starting point guard. I mean, so here you go, and that really, really sucks. But that Houston squad that KD was walking into was like, oh man, adding KD puts this squad there. And that's what we failed to the allure to. But we also got to look at it as well, too. On paper, this squad looks great. But what are they going to look like on the court?
Yeah.
And as you can see, it's not like they're getting blown out. They're not getting, destroyed. But yet they're still losing. And it's one of those things and I think they gave up the lead in the first game. They gave it the lead. Then they win in OT. They win double OT. And I mean, yeah, it's not good, but this squad, needs time to mesh. They got to work together. They got to figure each other out. I think they'll be okay, but yet it's like you said about the Lakers. You don't want to start in a deficit in the Western Conference. And this is something that we didn't expect Houston to do. But yet if they get into a deficit, good luck.
Right. Yeah, and especially with the addition of Kevin Durant, I think they're going to learn, especially having all those young players around them. And I think that's why they miss VanVleet so much, is that veteran championship presence. Wins aren't given to you. You can plug in a great player all you want. It doesn't mean you're going to win. Doesn't mean you just go out there and go through the motions. Yes, they can score. I love Sengun. Sengun, man, only 23 years old, man. That kid is something special. I think he's got some talent. He is going to be a perennial all-star. I love Amen Thompson. I think he is going to be a superstar in this league. I think he just needs to mature a little bit more. And I think they need to work on some defense. Ime Udoka is going to get these guys clicking a little bit better. I think they're going to be okay. But you need to win these types of games. You need to beat the big teams. You can't just beat the bottom feeders. You have to beat those teams that are over 500. You have to beat those championship teams. You got to beat those all-star teams. That's the only way you're going to kind of get some confidence in yourself. So a little disappointed on the slow start with the Rockets. Hopefully they can throw a little jet fuel on the fire and get it going here. But we'll see.
And
Again,
think about this right here, too.
What you got?
In that playoffs, when they played the Warriors outshot that squad. And that was something that they got out of KD was, hey, we're not going to get outshot this year. But also, too, when you sent Green over to Phoenix in exchange, you did send your defense over there as well, too. So it's one of those things. Do you want to get outshot? Or do you want to lose close games because you can't shut down the perimeter or you can't defend? So it's one of those things you got to look at because, KD ain't really predicated for his defense.
Nope.
And he never has been.
Nope.
So it's one of those things. What do you want? I mean, it's good to put up 40 and like put up 30 and 40-point leads and nobody get to you. But if you're losing games by 5 and 6 and 7 because of lack of defense,
that's defense.
You're going to start questioning that move. Did they give too much?
Yep. Yeah, so we'll see what happens. But yeah, the defense has to step it up here because you got to win those close games, especially with those kind of that talent you have on that team right now. And let's talk about the 2-1 Ancient Warriors. We have the Golden State Warriors, aka the Golden Girls of the NBA. You have Jimmy Buckets with a great performance week 1. Steph Curry, he had 31 points. Steph Curry, 23 points in that win against the Lakers. Friday, they got beat by a Blazers team with Tiago Splitter in his first game as a Blazers coach, which was interesting too. But Thursday, before that, Curry had 42. Aaron Gordon drops 50, but in a loss, even though Joker had another triple-double, still, to me, still the best basketball player in the world. But 2-1, the Warriors, the Ancient Warriors, Steph Curry, which is crazy to think the babyface assassin is going to be 37. Draymond Green looks like he's about 112. He's got to shape up the beard a little bit of something here. He's got to get that going here. Jimmy Butler, age 2. I mean, they have Kuminga, Podzminski. So they do have some youth on that team, but not a lot. Do you think this Warriors team, as it's constructed right now, will have enough gas to make it through the West and be a playoff team this year?
No, I don't think they will.
Ooh.
But they will be. They will contend. They will be a squad that you can't get rid of. It's always one of those things. When will it end for the Warriors? When will it end? The Sacramento Kings couldn't do it 2 years ago,
right?
And Houston couldn't do it last year.
Right.
They outshot Houston like nobody's business and won. But later on they ran into Denver and here we are. And so was it Denver that they played? Was it Denver? No.
No, it was
the Clippers. No, it wasn't the Clippers. No. They ended up losing to Denver. It was who did they run into? Well, either way,
my brain is not working here.
It was Minnesota.
Put me on the spot.
It was Minnesota.
T-Wolves.
Yeah, it was Minnesota. It was, and Steph Curry got hurt. And there you go. He ended up getting hurt. So as long as Steph Curry's on this squad right here, this team has a chance. It doesn't matter. That's just one of those things. Like, Steph is one of those guys that, he's about timeless as it gets, especially with the way that the NBA has, the way the defense has been in the NBA,
right.
The way he can just shoot it all over the place. And still, as long as he is still making shots, I think the man can play until he's 45. I really think he can. I mean, all he has to do is take the ball up, pass the ball, and shoot it.
Right.
I think he's okay, which I doubt that he's going to do that. I doubt he's going to do it. I think Steph is
never know.
he cares about his legacy a little bit. I think he does. I think he cares about his legacy just
Oh,
a
he
little
knows.
bit.
He knows.
And so that's just one of those things. I mean, but as long as he is on that squad, you can't put the Golden State Warriors out of it. You can't. I mean, that man earned his money. They paid him a handsome ransom. So why not let the man do his thing? But Jonathan Kuminga's playing like he's wanting something right now. Kuminga, I saw that big dunk that he had the other night. I mean, the man's going in there and he's playing. So that to me is something. I mean, whatever you put around Steph Curry, I think is going to benefit. But, I think they kind of could, maybe do without Draymond, maybe. They could probably do without him. But as far as that, contending in this Western Conference, I doubt it. Give me 7. Give me team number 7. I don't think they're playing. I think they'll probably be playing. I think they will be a play-in squad, I believe.
Yeah, I think it's going to be tough for them. The way they're constructed now, I do think they need more. I think they need to do a move here, especially like before the trade deadline. I think they do need to get younger. Draymond, I know is kind of that spark plug, heart and soul. He's scrappy, give you a few rebounds kind of deal. So it's hard to just kind of get rid of him because I know, he's kind of needed on that team. But I think that team needs more, especially in the West. But yeah, you can't knock Steph Curry, man. He is top 10. Guys, I don't care. Top 10 all time. Steph Curry. He is in there. Put him in. I'm sorry. He has changed the game of basketball forever, or at least the modern age as we know it. He continues to shoot the lights. I mean, when it's all said and done, he's considered the greatest shooter in NBA history, but I think he's going to surpass that into godlike status,
Yes.
which is coming. I don't see them contending for a championship unless they do a huge move. Like, you go out, Bucks start losing. Maybe Giannis is available kind of deal. You get something like that. You put Steph and Giannis together. You got something going there. But I think, Jimmy Butler, what Jimmy Butler are you going to get every day? You may get good Jimmy Butler. You may get bad Jimmy Butler. So, I mean, you don't really know what you're going to get of him. Kuminga, yes, he's got some talent and he's got something to prove because he wanted the big contract, but he needs to do something more. He needs to be that guy that Steph Curry can count on. So we'll be interesting to see. Still young season right now, infant season. So, but those ancient warriors going to be something interesting to watch this year. So, real quick, Smitty, for you, biggest story of this NBA season besides, the obvious, what to you is the biggest thing that you've seen so far in the NBA season that has kind of poked your eyebrows up a little bit?
The Charlotte Hornets going 1-0. That, for me, in the state of North Carolina, we've not seen that in forever. We have not seen that in forever.
Above 500. Go,
yes.
Charlotte.
Yes, we've not seen that in forever. I mean, going for the hometown, let's do this. That's great. I don't know how long it's going to be, but I'm just glad to see my hometown erupt, with my home state erupt with this. That was really, really cool. That to me was a big thing. I'm sorry. It might not be big to anybody else, but it was big to me.
I love it.
As a Bulls fan, that's going to be rough. That's another story for another time. That's another podcast for another time of what the Bulls are doing or what they have been doing for the past 10 years. And
10.
So, it's
20.
rough. But seeing my hometown erupt with a 1-0 start with the Charlotte Hornets was news to me, and I enjoyed it.
But Ball can stay healthy, man. He's just a lot of flash. You can color up your shoes, your face, your cars, all you want, dude, but go out there and ball, hoop, stay healthy.
Yeah, it really is. But and aside from that as well, too, the fact that I think that Philadelphia coming out of the gate the way that they did without Joel Embiid is another thing. And I feel like he's going to get traded. I feel like he's getting traded.
I hope so. I'm
think
tired of the
he is.
Sixers and this process thing. And
Break this thing up. Break it
Mr.
up.
Glass,
You've been talking about it for a while. Break it up. Get rid of it. Start
Right.
from scratch. Tyrese Maxey playing the
playing
way that
great.
he has played. Yes. I mean,
great.
You've got a lot of depth. You got depth going, and they've played without this guy. So basically, it's kind of like, well, why do we need you here if we're actually having some type of success? And and the young man from Duke, he's coming back. Hopefully, you know what I'm saying. They've got upside.
McCann. They got a great young squad, but I think they can get some value for Embiid. Get him a fresh start. I think he can do with a fresh start because I think it's only a matter of time before he gets into it again with the 76ers or the Philadelphia Reporters. So I think it's time to kind of move on with him because you got a great young squad right there. And I can see that too. A bigger surprise, 03 Celtics or 02 Rockets?
02 Rockets. I know Boston is without Jason Tatum. I get it. But they're not a sunken squad. They're not sunken, but, we kind of knew that hits were coming because, Porzingis is gone to Atlanta.
Right.
And the injury has gone the way that it has been. But I think this Eastern Conference is going to have a shakeup as well, too. I think that there are going to be some teams in there that we haven't seen in a while that are going to be up there. I expect for Detroit to be up there. I expect for, if Philadelphia keeps doing what they're doing, they could be up there. I see, the New York Knicks probably going 1 and 2. I mean, either one of those 1-2 spots, they could be in there. The Knicks are playing some good basketball right now in the Eastern Conference. So there are squads there that could replace these squads. I hate it for Indiana. I mean, for Halliburton being out, I hate it for them.
Right.
But Pascal Siakam and those guys there will contend, but once again, I don't see them doing what they did last year. But I really think this Eastern Conference is being slept on as well, too. So, but we didn't see Houston being 0-2. We didn't, with all the hype and KD and that 7-team trade and all that other stuff. We didn't see that. So, yes, big surprise to me is 0-2 Rockets.
That is a huge surprise. So, and then finally, what we got coming up here, starting on Friday, October 31st, we have the Emirates Cup begins in the NBA. Their little mid-season tournament that they do. I love there's the New York Knicks home court during the Emirates Cup. I kind of dig it. I like how they do the courts with the cup, and they got the little shadow, and every court is different with the home teams and everything. So I kind of dig it. So, but is this mid-season tournament good for the NBA, or is this just a gimmick that's going to end up fading away?
As a fan that wasn't really a fan of the Emirates Cup at first, what they're doing with it now, I kind of like it. I mean, they're adding a flair for the fans,
right,
so to speak. As someone who watches the WNBA and watched the Commissioner's Cup this year,
right,
that was something that was really cool to me. It just gives you kind of like a more competition in the middle. So how you have teams that might be middle of the season. How's their second half going to be? Well, the Emirates Cup might be a measuring stick for that. Might show a little bit. We look what Orlando in the Emirates Cup, how they did last year. Even though they got hurt, even though the injuries came, it pretty much was a showcase for them because Orlando was actually cooking around that time. And so I'm like, okay. But I like what they do. It's more, they're making it a little more entertaining. I think it'll stay around. It may not be a fixture forever, but for the time that it's there, I think that it'll serve its purpose if they keep doing what they're doing and make it more of a fan type of interaction with the jerseys and the floors and all that other stuff. I think it's kind of cool that they're doing it. So I'm pretty cool with it, but I don't see it lasting for 20 years. I don't really see that. The sponsorship might change, I'm pretty sure, but as far as being around forever and having it being a fixture, Probably not. But while it's here, enjoy it.
Yeah. It might be the Amazon Cup one day or something like that. They talk about that, or bet.com, cup. So, maybe something like that. But I mean, the Bucks won last year. Who would know that? The Lakers won, I think, the year before. I don't think anybody knew that. So I think it's okay if your team wins.
Right.
Do I think it's a little gimmicky, especially for the NBA. Like I know it works for the WNBA, which is phenomenal. But I don't know. I'm just not sold on it yet. I still think it has to. I think I need to see more. But I'm super excited about it. Again, I do love the courts, and it's just who would want to turn away NBA basketball. So, man, what a crazy week one in the NBA, dude. Wow. I can only wait for week 2 and what week 2 is going to bring us. So, my man, Mr. Podcast Smitty, let's get the little music going on in the background here, a little Italian music here going on. I thank you for joining me today. Shannon Smitty Smith joining us here on 3 from Deep. Mr. Smitty, where can the people find you?
Well, of course, you can find me on Tobacco Sports Radio's YouTube channel. Talking about those Carolina Panthers on the Cat Cave this Thursday. Unfortunately, the Bills blew the doors off of the Panthers, and it was rough. So me and my man D White will be analyzing that game, analyzing what went on, and then getting prepared for the next game. And on Friday, of course, here on Boom Broadcasting, you will see an episode of Quick Hits. I'm putting that show together as we speak. I'm looking at I'm going to put my Quick Hits together from this weekend, and then what we're going to see out of the sports weekend coming up. Might talk a little NFL middle of the season action, talking about which teams do I expect to go further in the second half of the season. Might talk a little bit of that, but stay tuned. And of course, I'm Shannon Smith, and these are your Quick Hits.
Salute. Thank you very much, Shannon, for joining me, and thank you guys all for joining us here on 3 from Deep on the Boom Broadcasting Network. So don't be afraid to hit that like and subscribe button, man. We would appreciate it. Tell your friends, tell your family. Come check us out here on the Boom Broadcasting Network. We are all family here at Boom Broadcasting. So thank you guys very much. We'll see what week 2 in the NBA brings us, man. I'll check y'all later. Peace.